Well, good Wednesday morning to everybody. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. I know here in the Mid Atlantic area, we are at least bracing for a potential snowstorm. I've heard everything from 3 or 4 inches to the apocalypse as far as forecast goes, that we're all going to die in an ice age. But sometimes those weather people do say sensationalize things just for, I think, to do it just to get attention myself. But anyway, we'll see what it happens. It's not going to get here till Saturday or Sunday, so we'll figure it out, and we'll somehow make it through. All right, we are at the next game, the second game in the June 9th, actually the third game in the June 9th schedule. First game was the Yankees uh, taking on Toronto, and yesterday's game, of course, was Detroit and Milwaukee. Now we're in the Metrodome in Minnesota for Kansas City and the Twins. Game number 388 overall. Metrodome is a hitter-friendly ballpark. 16 for lefty singles, 13 for righty singles, 11 for both. Minnesota comes in at an even 28-28 on their record. Kansas City one game back at 26-28. Starting pitchers for today's game: knuckleballer Joe Niekro on the mound for the Twins, and left-hander Danny Jackson on the mound for the Kansas City Royals. Of note, Niekro a +5, because Niekro is a +8 hold, so it doesn't really matter who the catcher is. It's going to be a +5, but Lardner's a 0, so it really doesn't matter. It's still a +5. He also has a propensity for wild pitches, probably because of the knuckleball, so he's an 18 wild pitch. That's something to keep an eye on. Danny Jackson has a 0 hold. Actually, he's got a -1 hold, but Quirk has a +1 hold, so he's a net 0 when it comes to that. So those preliminaries are out of the way. Hello, Mike, and hello, Dr. D. All right, so we are ready to go. Joe Niekro finishing up his warm-up tosses. We will get his full numbers as I go to the Strat computer. He is 2-3 with first of all, real world. Let's always check that. He was 7-13 with a 5.33 ERA. In the replay, he's 2-3 with a 4.88 ERA, so a little bit better in the replay. And he'll be facing Willie Wilson, Kevin Seitzer, and Danny Tartable of the Kansas City Royals. Royals have pretty much a standard. In fact, both teams kind of a standard lineup. The only difference is with Jackson a lefty on the mound, the Twins have benched Kent Herbeck and put Gene Larkin at first base. Still have Gagne not playing, not starting. He's on the roster, but Newman's been playing shortstop for the last couple games. I'm not sure if that's a strategic move or whether Gagne was dealing with a day-to-day bugaboo or what. I don't know, but just the way it was. Willie Wilson on the replay is hitting .290, 2 homers, 12 driven in at .279 real world. And of course, before the first pitch, the standard requirement and tradition is the ceremonial first sip. So we have to have the ceremonial first sip. And on a cold morning, it was down in the upper teens overnight. So in a cold morning, it's good to have some hot coffee. Good morning, Kathy. I think Beltran's either going to go in as a Royal or a Met. I don't see him going in as an Astro. No way. Not when there's lingering stuff about cheating from back in the day. So I think he's definitely looking at either the Royals or the Mets. And of course, we get a spam call, I should say, coming in. So we got rid of that. That helps. Good thing I wasn't recording with my phone or kick the whole thing off. So. All right, so here we go. Willie Wilson to start us off. 4-8. And that is a 1 to 12 single. That's a 4. So Willie Wilson, leadoff single, and that +5 is going to be juicy for Wilson to get a lead here. He might even steal without the lead because it's such a bad hold rating. But he's going to try for the lead, 3 through 6. And he gets the lead. So it's almost going to be automatic. He's a 19, being held as a 17, but the +5 makes it a 22. So the only way he's out is on a 20. And with Laudner having a T8 rating, I don't think you want to take that risk. So they're just he's going to steal it without a throw. I mean, it's really nothing good. The chances of rolling a 20 there are almost not. I mean, it was technically 5%, but you also have a better chance of probably a 15% chance of throwing it away. So they'll just concede the base, put him at second base, and here's Kevin Seitzer. Seitzer on the replay hitting 293, 8 homers, 34 driven in. He hit 323 real world. Negro again with that 18 wild pitch rating. Got to keep an eye on that. 6'3" is a ground ball pitcher, X. He's an E19. He's a 3 E19. 3 range from the computer, 19 from his card, because the card doesn't give range. So 3 E9, and you get a 3 and a 4. Goodness gracious. 3 and a 4, and I did bring out the old cardboard ones this time because they're a little bit better shape to look at. So those ones that were falling apart. So we got a 3 and a 4. And a 3 and a 4 is a G3, so he'll get to it, but the runner will advance. And that's a 12, and he is an E19 for a pitcher. There's a 12 right there under the E19, so he's going to get to it, but he's going to boot it, and everybody's safe. E1 on Joe Negro. Going to put runners at the corners with nobody out, and he's off to a really not so great start. Seitzer's going to look to run as well. Needs a 5 or a 6 to obtain the lead. He does not get it, so he will hold. And here's Danny Tartable, right fielder. Tartable hitting 332, 15 homers, 41 driven in. On the real season, he hit 309. Infield back for the double play. They need outs. 2-7, but they're not going to get any outs. 1 to 5 is a double. 6 to 20 is a single. That's a 2. It's a double, 2 stars. Seitzer will have to stop at third on the 2-star result, but scoring easily is Wilson. And the Royals lead it 1-0. And Joe Negro is in serious trouble early on. Second and third, nobody out. And here's Thad Bosley, the designated hitter. Bosley hitting 169 on the replay. Very Joe Carter-esque. 2 homers and 9 driven in. He hit 279 real world. Oddly, he has more home runs now than he had in real life. He only had 1 in the real season. He's had 2 already and just over half as many at bats, but he's over 100 points down on his batting average. Twins will play the infield in. Don't usually play the infield in with 1 out, but I feel like I need to do it. Oh, and now that thing let's just try it again because it got stuck up in there. 3-4. It's a pop out to short. That's a big break there for Negro as it gets Bosley with no runner advancement. Infield will remain in for Frank White. The venerable Frank White. He is hitting 237 on the replay. 6 homers, 19 driven in. He hit 245 real world. Negro. 3-11, and that's a strikeout of Frank White. So Negro coming back, trying to get out of the mess with that knuckleball. And now he has to face bye-bye Balboni in the clutch. And Balboni in the clutch, it looks like he's rated completely neutral. I don't see any changes. So on the replay, Balboni only hitting 160, 9 homers, 19 driven in. He hit 207 real world. That's a 2. Chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at a pass ball rating on Laudner. Both catchers have pass ball ratings of 6. And there's no pass ball. 312 for Balboni, and that's a solid home run. Clean as can be. Bye-bye, sent that one bye-bye on a 312. No doubt about it. Negro thought he was going to get out of the inning. All these runs are unearned, but they still count. It's now 4-0. Favor the Royals. Balboni, I believe that's his, let me look it up. That's his 10th home run of the replay. He hit 24 real world. Home run number 10, RBIs 20, 21, and 22. Again, the 312. You don't need the D20. You can take that away. The 312 is clean as can be. And as someone once said, clean as a baby's ass. All right, so 4-0 Royals. Negro now has to deal with Bo Nose. Bo is hitting 237 on the replay. 7 homers, 20 driven in. He hit 235 real world. 2-8, and that's a strikeout. So Necro's going to get 2 strikeouts in the inning, but an Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning. 3 of them are unearned, but they still count. We go to the bottom of the first. Royals 4, and the Twins just now coming to bat. So Danny Jackson handed a 4-0 lead before he even takes the mound. The real season, he was 9-18 with a 4.02 ERA. On the replay, he's doing much better. Well, slightly better. He's 4-3 with a 3.76 ERA. Left-hander, and he'll be facing Al Newman at shortstop. Newman hitting 246 on the replay. No homers, 9 driven in. Get 221 real world. 1-6 against the lefty. That's a fly to center. Willie Wilson will haul it in, 1 away, and here comes Dan Gladden, the left fielder. Gladden on the replay is hitting 246, 4 homers, 14 driven in. He hit 249 real world. 1-9, and that's a single 1-6, but that's an 11, so it's going to be a line out to Salazar at short for out number 2. And that'll bring up Kirby Puckett. Might be a 1-2-3 inning, and Necro's not going to get much rest between innings. Puckett hitting 321 on the replay, 9 homers, 33 driven in. He at 332 real world. And again, that one of those one of the die gets hung up there. I don't know why it does that. 4-5, right-handed for Jackson is a fly ball to center. Willie Wilson hauls it in. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Talk about your shutdown innings. There you go. We go to the top of the second, 4-0 Kansas City. Necro back out. Salazar is your batter, Angel Salazar. Also, I believe his actual formal name was Argenis Salazar, but they called him Angel Salazar. He's hitting 257 on the replay, 2 homers, 12 driven in. He hit 206 real world. 3-7, and he's going to ground it to short where Newman, whoops, wrong side there, where Newman takes care of it. Sometimes I do that accidentally. I started in the wrong section. We'll clean that up for the bottom of the second. So ground out to short, 1 away. We'll bring up the catcher, Jamie Quirk. Quirk on the replay hitting 264, no homers, 11 driven in. He hit 236 real world. 4-6 left-handed, and that is a solid double off of Necro. Solid double for Jamie Quirk. He will not be held on second base. And here's Willie Wilson. He singled, stole second, and scored his first time up. Hello, Joel. Necro to Wilson, 3-6. 1-11 is a single. That's a 16, so he's going to line it to second base. And right there waiting for it is Lombardozzi, 2 down. Quirk gets back to second. 2 outs, now a clutch situation for Kevin Seitzer. I'm sorry, yeah, it should be for Kevin Seitzer. I don't know how Tartable got out of whack here. The heck happened to Kevin Seitzer's card? How did he get way down here? All right, let's put him in the right order here. Kevin Seitzer in the clutch. Loses a hit on 1-3, and everywhere else he is normal. Or neutral, whatever you want to call it. So it's got to avoid the 1-3 for sure. So he did, 6-9, but it's going to pop it up to third, and Mr. Gaetti will take care of that. So Necro pitches around the double. Go to the bottom of the second, still a 4-0 ball game. And speaking of Gaetti, he will lead off the inning. On the replay, Gaetti, 259 average, 14 homers, 53 driven in. He at 257 real world. 210, and that's a strikeout. First strikeout for Danny Jackson. 1 away, and here comes Gene Larkin, first baseman. Switch hitter. Larkin hitting 366 on the replay, but he's only had 41 at bats. He had 233 real world at bats, so he's got a ways to go. Homer and 6 driven in. He had 266 real world. 6'10", switch hitter batting right-handed, 6'10". 1-14 is a triple. That's a 9. Did Larkin have any triples? Yes, he did. So he had 2 triples real world. This is his first triple of the replay. So Gene Larkin, a 1-out triple for Larkin as he's taken the place of Kent Herbeck, who has a lot of trouble with left-handed pitching. That'll bring up Brunansky. The infield is back for Kansas City. They got a 4-0 lead. They're not worried about one run. They want to prevent a big inning. Brunansky hitting .267, 8 homers, 24 driven in. On the replay, on the real season, at 259. Get a 5-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. That's Willie Wilson. 1E1, but we'll see if it's deep enough for a sacrifice fly or not. 1-15, I think, might not be deep enough, but we'll double check it. 1 and a 15 is an F3, so it's not deep enough to score the run. It's an 8, and he's the only way he makes an error is on a 17. So the fly ball to center by Brunansky was not deep enough to score Larkin, so he stays at third base with now 2 away in a clutch situation for Steve Lombardozzi. In the clutch, he loses a couple of hits, 3-5 and 3-9. In the replay, he's hitting .280, 2 homers, 15 driven in. He only hit .238 real world. 1-7, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. So Danny Jackson pitches around the triple with some savvy pitching, and the score is still 4-0 after 2. Necro back out. Here is Tartable. I really wanted to play a Demolition League game last night, but if you haven't seen it, I put out a little short of Tabby where she was kind of had my full attention and wouldn't, kind of demanding that I stay in the bedroom and not come upstairs and play the game. So sometimes that happens. And the old expression around here is what Tabby wants, Tabby gets. All right, here's Tartable. 5-5, and that's a ground ball to second. Easy play for Lombardozzi. Tartable is retired. 1 away. And that will send up Thad Bosley. 1-5 for Bosley. That's a solid single. He will, of course, not be held. He has no threat to run. Here's Frank White. White struck out his first chance. 1-4 for White. That's a 1-3 triple. That's a 15. It'll be a double. The double's assumed to go to center. And with the center fielder Puckett having a -4 arm and Bosley not running all that well, they will hold Bosley at third base. So a double. Second and third. Only 1 out, and bye-bye Balboni, who went bye-bye with a 3-run homer his first time up, is at the plate again. Infield is in with runners at second and third and 1 out. 4-4, and that's a triple 1-6. That's a 17. It's a 2-run double for bye-bye Balboni. He's got 5 runs batted in. 5 of the 6 runs that batted in belong to bye-bye Balboni. He's having a career day as he blasts a 2-run double. He must like the Metrodome. It is now 6-0 Royals. And Joe Necro might be almost near the end. Here's Bo Jackson. He did strike out his first time up. 1-6. He's going to strike out again. 2 down. Third strikeout for Necro. He's just trying to survive the inning. Then it might be a bullpen day for the Twins. We never know. Here's Angel Salazar. 1-9 for Salazar. Pops it up to short, and that's going to do it. But a 2-run double from bye-bye Balboni. And the Royals now lead it 6-0 as they are stomping the Twins. Now, granted, Twins have a good offense, and the Metrodome is sort of like Fenway Park where the game's never over, but it's tough sledding. Here's Tim Laudner, the catcher. Laudner hitting .277 on the replay, much better than his real-world 191 average. 6 homers, 15 driven in. 4-5, and that's a fly to center field. Willie Wilson casually strolls over and grabs it. 1 away. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Mark Davidson, right fielder. Davidson on the replay hitting .224, 1 homer, 5 driven in. He hit .267 real world. 5-6, and that's a strikeout for Danny Jackson, his third. So with a 6-0 lead, Danny Jackson just challenging the hitters, say, hit it. I'm not going to walk you. Here is Newman. 5-12, switch hitter batting right-handed. 5-12, ground ball first base C. Balboni will grab it, flip it to Danny Jackson covering, and that will end the inning. Very quick inning. As Danny Jackson makes quick work of the Twins. Go to the fourth. Niekro still out there, but hanging on by a thread. We look at the Twins bullpen. I believe Mark Portugal is their long relief guy. Let me check their bullpen. Don't want to use anybody inappropriately. Let's see, Portugal, where are you? I mean, Portugal's not even on the roster. So we don't have Portugal. We got Atherton, Frazier, Neiman, and Reardon. Because, let's see, what about Berenguer? Because Berenguer had a start recently. And all the other guys on the team are starters. So, yeah, they're going to, let's see about George Frazier. Atherton and Frazier are just about the same as far as fatigue and usage. But they're going to have Niekro pitch some more. And just see if he can survive. Here's Jamie Quirk. 1-6 for Quirk. Ground ball to first. And Larkin will take care of it on a way. If they can get 5 innings out of Niekro, they'll be ecstatic. Help their bullpen. Here's Willie Wilson. 1-7, and he grounds it to second. So Lombardozzi is there. 2 up, 2 down. Positive start to the inning for Mr. Niekro. And here comes Kevin Seitzer. 1-8 for Seitzer, and that's a single. So Niekro unable to get a 1-2-3 inning once again. He has not had a clean inning yet. It's been at least one base runner on in all 4 innings. Here's Tartable. Seitzer up 6-0, but you can't count anything in Metrodome, so they're going to still try to get the lead. He needs a 5 or a 6. Does not get it, so he'll hold. And now here is Tartable. 1-8 for Tartable, struck him out. Strikeout number 4 for Niekro. And at least he survives another inning. Go to the bottom of the 4th, still 6-0. Royals, as of the moment, comfortably in front. But that could change. You never know. Dice can be weird sometimes. Here's Dan Gladden. He will lead it off. Gladden line to short his first trip. 3-7 against the left-hander. He's going to ground to third. Where Seitzer will take care of it, no problem. 1 away for Kirby Puckett. 2-7 for Puckett. He's going to ground it to short. And Salazar takes care of it. So Danny Jackson, very, very casual pitching, just putting the ball in play and letting his fielders do the work. Here's Gaetti. 4-9 right-handed, and that's a base on balls. First walk issued by Jackson. 2-out walk. Gaetti has the asterisk there, but down 6-0. They're not going to try anything. Here's Gene Larkin. He tripled his last time up, or his only time up. That's a 2. Chance for balk or pass ball. Chance for pass ball. Quirk is a 6. No pass ball. 4-9, switch hitter batting right-handed, and that's another walk. Back-to-back walks all of a sudden from Danny Jackson. Brings up Brunansky in the clutch situation. Against left-handers, Brunansky in the clutch will lose a hit on 3-12. Everywhere else, he's pretty neutral, or exactly neutral. 5-9, and that's a fly to right field, and that will do it. As Tarble puts it away, and another goose egg on the board for the Twins. We go to the fifth. It's still 6-0. Necro has not reached fatigue yet, so despite being ineffective early, he's going to try to eke out another inning at least. Here's Thad Bosley. He's 1 for 2. 1-7, make him 1 for 3 as he strikes out. Fifth strikeout from Necro. And that'll send up Frank White. He is 1 for 2 with a double. 1-7, and he's going to strike out. So back-to-back, 3 strikeouts in a row going back to last inning for Necro. But now he's got to face all of a sudden the hot-hitting bye-bye Balboni. He's homered, 3-run homer and a 2-run double for Balboni. 2 for 2. 6-9, and he pops out to third. Gaetti's got it, and finally a 1-2-3 inning for Necro. So he may be able to get out of this and go 6 innings. So now Lombardozzi will lead off, followed by Laudner and Davidson. 4-11, and that's a ground ball shortstop. X, we're looking at Salazar, 2E16 for Salazar. 2-16, he'll get to that. Let's look at the chart here. He will get to that. 2-16. 2-16 is a G1. That's a 13, and he is an E16. E6, there's a 14 and a 17, but no 13. So Salazar will make the play on Lombardozzi. 1 away. Here's Tim Laudner. .610, and that's going to be a 1-14 home run for Laudner. That's an 11, and that's gone. Twins are finally on the board. Tim Laudner, a solo home run to finally put his team on the board. For Laudner, his 7th home run of the replay. RBI number 16. He had 16 home runs real world. Look at it again, 610 is a did I get that right? 610. Did I miss something here? Where am I getting a home run from? Well, I'm looking at something weird here if I'm calling a home run on something that shouldn't be a home run. Where am I getting home run from? That can't be right. That cannot be right. Where am I thinking the home run is coming from? That's not a home run, folks. I don't know what I was thinking. 610. 610 is a triple. 1-14, 15-20 is a double. That would be a triple. Laudner had 1 triple real world, so we'll allow it, but it's not a home run. So a little bit of a correction there. I don't know where I was getting the home run from. That didn't make any sense at all. Now that I look at it, I'm not even sure what I was looking at, because there's nothing on Jackson's card. He does not give up home runs on his own card like that, except on ballparks. So it's actually going to be a triple for Laudner. He had 1 triple real world, so this is his triple right here. Triple for Laudner. Apologies for the error. So the Twins have 2 hits in this game. They're both triples. Yeah, 310's a home, but not against left-handed pitching. 310 against left-handed pitching is a ballpark blast, and I never went to the ballpark. I was looking at Danny Jackson's card, and for some reason I saw a home run, and I have no idea why. Maybe I was doing 610 and misreading this to be 610, but usually if that's the case, I would have said it was clean because I actually checked the D20. It was just weird. I'll just leave it at that. Say it's weird. Maybe I need another sip of coffee to clear my head. I don't know, but That one was a little strange. I'm just glad I caught it and corrected it. So runner at third, one out. Infield back. Here's Mark Davidson. Shutout is still intact. 5-8. Fly ball left field B. It's not intact anymore. That's a sacrifice fly. RBI for Davidson on the sacrifice fly. His 6th run batted in of the season. And the Twins are finally on the board now. It is now 6-1, but now it's 2 outs, bases empty. After the fact. Mike, I misread stuff all the time. So I constantly have to be on the alert for that. I guess that's from getting old. I don't know. Almost 51. So 6-10. 6-10, switch hitter batting right-handed. We're back in the same position I was on before. 6-10, 1-14 to triple. 15's a double, though, because that's a 15. So Al Newman with not an RBI double, but a double. So 3 hits for the Twins in this game, and they've all been extra base hits. They have not had a plain old single yet. Here's Dan Gladden. It is a clutch situation for Gladden against the lefty. He loses a couple hits, 2-9, 2-10. And that's a 2-10. And here we go. Would have been a base hit. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. But the anti-clutch comes into play and makes it a pop out to short. So that's an anti-clutch for Dan Gladden. Fails in the clutch. Twins get the run, but they could have had more. Save the anti-clutch for Dan Gladden. So we go to the 6th inning. It's 6-1. This is the fatigue inning for Niekro. So if they can get Niekro through 6 innings, they will be ecstatic. Here's Bo Nose. He struck out twice. 3-2, but he's not going to strike out here. That is clean as can be. 3-2. Clean as can be. No doubter about it from Bo Jackson. And now the bullpen for the Twins is up in earnest again. Jackson, home run number 8 on the replay. He had 22 real world. This is home run number 8 in at bat 189. In 396 at bats, he had 22. That's his 21st run batted in. So home run from Bo. It's been feast or famine. 2 strikeouts and now a home run. And that brings up Salazar. 4-2, and that's a ground ball back to Niekro, 1 away. Still going to try to see if Niekro can go through the whole 6 innings. Here's Quirk, although George Frazier is ready in the bullpen if needed. And you know it's going to be needed, it's just a matter of when. 6-4, and that's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Gaetti. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. We're looking at the E12. And as a third baseman, E12, just 12 and 16 are the only 2 error chances, 12 and 16. And he didn't have any of that. So good play for Gaetti as he takes care of Quirk. 2 down. This will be the final inning for Niekro one way or the other. Here's Willie Wilson. 2 outs, base is empty. 2-8 for Wilson, and he gets a single. It's an anti-clutch, but we're not in that situation. So it's a base hit for Wilson. And Wilson's going to be looking to run. Once again, going to try to get that lead, 3 through 6. Gets the lead. He's gone, and they're not even going to throw through. It's not worth it. The risk is not worth the possible reward. So a second stolen base for Willie Wilson. Now a clutch situation for Kevin Seitzer. Again, the only place he loses a hit is 1-3. 3-8, and that's a ground ball to short, and that will end the inning, and that will end the day for Joe Niekro. He's going to be charged with 7 runs, but only 4 of them are earned. We'll get the final. I'll go to the computer and get to his final numbers so I don't do the math. Strat computer will tell me everything I need to know about Joe Niekro's events in this game. 6 innings pitched, 10 hits, 7 runs, 4 earned. He didn't walk anybody. That was a positive, and struck out 6, but he's on the hook for the L in this one. And we are looking at George Frazier, the new pitcher. So Frazier will be coming on to pitch the 7th. He's a +5 hold, so that's not going to, I mean, I doubt they're going to steal anyway, but you never know. But there we go. Bottom of the 6th it goes. This is the fatigue inning for Danny Jackson, so we'll keep an eye on him. He'll be facing Puckett, Gaetti, and Larkin. Pretty much the heart of the order. Puckett is 0 for 2, though. 5-6, and he's going to be 0 for 3. That's a strikeout for Jackson, and that will be his 4th strikeout to go with 2 walks. And that'll bring up Gary Gaetti. Twins just been kind of out of sorts from the get-go in this game. 3-3 against the left-hander is a split chance. 1-9, a single. That's a 5. So Gaetti will take advantage and make the base hit. And that's the first single of the game for the Twins. They've had 2 triples and a double, but the first plain old single. Here's Larkin. He's tripled and walked. 4-3, and that's another walk. 3rd walk issued by Danny Jackson, and he's on the verge of fatigue. But with a 7-1 lead, they give him a little bit of a longer leash to work with. Not going to pull him right away. Here's Brunansky. 5-9, and that's a fly to right field, 2 down. And now it's going to be all up to Mr. Lombardozzi. (3-8) for Lombardozzi. Grounds it to short. Salazar is there, and the inning's over. So Danny Jackson will continue into the 7th with partial endurance. Start the top of the 7th, and it'll be George Frazier coming on for the Twins. We'll bring him on in the computer and get his numbers on the replay versus real world. So Frazier on the real season, 5-5 with a 4.98 ERA and 2 saves. On the replay, 3-1 with a 6.63 ERA and 1 save. So had a little bit tougher time in the replay. See how he does here against Tartable, Bosley, and White to start the top of the 7th. 1-5 for Tartable. That's a strikeout. Good start for Frazier. 1 away. 4th add Bosley. 1 for 3 for Bosley. In fact, other than Salazar, I believe this is right, other than Salazar, every other player on the team for the starting 9 for the Royals have a hit. Salazar is the only one that's hitless. Here's Bosley, 5-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Lombardozzi, 2E18 for Lombardozzi, 2 and a 4. 2 and a 4. G3 pound, but nobody's on base to be held, and the infield wasn't in, so the G3 is good. That's a 14, and he is an E18. There's a 13 there, but no 14, so good play for Lombardozzi. 2 down. For Frank White. 4-9, and that's a strikeout for Frazier. So he has a very effective 7th inning, does George Frazier. Takes care of business. Go to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch time, but we're going to, coffee's still pretty warm, so we're going to keep rolling. And Danny Jackson's going to see how long he can go. Royal bullpen is pretty taxed, so they could use some rest. Here's Laudner. He tripled his last time up after thinking he had a home run. 6-9, and that's going to be a double, 1-11. That's a 5, so a double for Tim Laudner. He has tripled and doubled in this game. That column 6 is getting Jackson in trouble. Here's Mark Davidson, right-handed hitter. 3-7 against the lefty, and he struck him out. Strikeout number 5 for Jackson. One away, back to the top of the order for Newman. Do they pinch hit for Newman? He did have a double his last time up. Let's see if they want to possibly do that and bring in Gagne to play short. Like I said, Gagne's on the roster, so I don't know if he was just day-to-day dinged up or why he wasn't playing or starting these types of games, but don't know the history on it. But we're going to have Gagne pinch hit and stay in the game to play shortstop. So Greg Gagne, who has the distinction of being my only cycle in Strat-O-Matic history, he will come in and pinch hit. So Greg Gagne, bring him on in the computer, get his numbers. Gagne on the replay is hitting 367. Not 5 homers, 26 driven in. He only hit 265 real world. So he's really been tearing it up in the replay. Get a 4-7, and that is a base on balls. So Gagne draws the pinch hit walk. And now Danny Jackson is officially tired. That's his 4th walk. But he does hold a 7-1 lead, so they're going to let him keep going. Bullpen is starting to stir for the Royals. Steve Farr, a right-hander, is loosening in their bullpen. But they're going to see if Jackson can get through the inning. Haven't had a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play yet. That would be something that Danny Jackson would probably love. 1-8, but he's not going to get it here. 1-2 is a single. Anything else he lines to short. So it will be a line out to Salazar for out number 2. And now it's going to be up to Kirby Puckett. Jackson to Puckett. Of course, we'll keep an eye on the dots because they will now come into play. The only dot he has is on 4-8 and on 5-2. Those are the 2 spots he got to avoid. 1-11. Fly ball to center, so he gets out of the jam. Danny Jackson does it. And that's going to be it for Danny Jackson. He's going to go 7 solid, giving up just the 1 run on 5 hits. And he walked 4, striking out 5. And then Steve Farr will come on and pitch. Frazier. And so Danny Jackson looking good to go 5-3 on the replay. George Frazier out now. Will be facing Bye-Bye Balboni. Start the top of the 8th. Balboni, 2 for 3, double and a home run. 3-11 for Balboni. 3-11, a 1-2 is a home run. That's a 3. So he gets a double instead. So Balboni with yet another double, his 2nd double of the game. He's still pretty much the player of the game. 2 doubles and a home run. Kind of hard to ignore that. I know Jackson pitched well, but kind of hard to ignore that for sure. Of course, Greg Gagne's the new shortstop for the Twins now. Computer made me do that. And then now we get the double from Balboni. Here's Bo Jackson. He homered his last time up. 5-9. He'll draw the base on balls. So 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Here comes Angel Salazar. He's an A bunter, but they're up 7-1, so I don't see any reason to bunt here. Just going to have him swing away. Plus, he hasn't had a hit yet. I'm trying to get him a hit. 4-10. Ballpark single check. 1-13, but that's a 20. That's the kind of day it's been for Angel Salazar. And so that fails. It's a fly ball to Puckett. 1 away. And that'll bring up Jamie Quirk. Quirk 1 for 3 with a double. 6-5 left-handed, and that's an in-home run chance. 1-8. That's a 5. It's gone. Jamie Quirk A 3-run bomb for Jamie Quirk. 6-5 is an in-home run chance 1-8. That's a 5. He's got normal power. It is gone. Jamie Men at Quirk. A 3-run home run to make it a 10-1 ball game. And for Quirk, that is his first home run of the replay. He had 5 real-world home runs in 296 at-bats. In at-bat number 114, he gets his first home run. So for Quirk, home run number 1, RBIs 12, 13, and 14. It is now a 10-1 ball game, and Frazier is tired. They're going to see if Frazier can complete the inning, since it's pretty much game's pretty much over anyway. Here's Willie Wilson. Might see a position player coming in pitch. You never can tell. 5-8, switch hitter batting left. That's a strikeout. So Frazier had enough oomph to get a strikeout there. 2 down, and that's going to send up Kevin Seitzer. And actually, we're going to pinch hit for Seitzer. They will pinch hit for Seitzer to give some extra guys some times at bat. So Bill Pecota will get in at bat. Time to use some of these bench players when you got a big lead like this. Plus Pecota's, well, he's about the same defensively, but wouldn't be a bad idea to give Pecota an extra at bat. We'll pinch hit in the 8th and stay in the game, play third base in the 8th, just like Gagne's at shortstop in the 8th. All right, so Kevin Seitzer will leave. He will give Bill Pecota a chance. And Pecota, on the replay, is hitting 259, just 27 at bats. A homer and 2 driven in. He had 276 real world. So with 2 outs and the base is empty, why not give Pecota an at bat? 3-11 for Pecota, and that's a fly to center to end the inning. So Pecota flies out, but a 3-run bomb, and that's it for Frazier. We may see a pitcher come in for the Twins in the 9th. We might see a position player, because their bullpen is pretty taxed. All right, so another spam call coming in. All right, so Pecota will stay in the game to play third base, no question about it. And the Royals will go to a new pitcher, Steve Farr. Right-hander Steve Bridge too far is on. On the real season, he was 4-3 with a 4.15 ERA and 1 save. In the replay, he is 3-1 with 5.12 ERA and 6 saves. So I had been using him as a closer. Kind of shifted back to Quisenberry recently, but that's why I had those saves like that. So Steve Farr, he's a +5 hold, but with the score being 10-1, I doubt that's going to be important. Frazier went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits and 3 runs, courtesy of a walk, and he did get 1 strikeout. So bottom of the 8th, 10-1 our score. Gary Gaetti steps to the plate. 4-7, and that is a 1-14 single. That's a 12 base hit. This is one of those kind of games, if I was playing this on the computer, it'd be so tempting to just sim the difference, because it's a lost cause, I think. But got to play it out. Right, here's Larkin. 3-11 for Larkin against Farr. That's a ballpark single check. 1-16, that's a 2, so base hit for Larkin. He's actually 2 for 2 with single and a triple and 2 walks. So first and second, nobody out for Brunansky. Brunansky on the day 0 for 3, 3 flyouts. 3-2 for Brunansky, and that is a ballpark single again. 1-13. That's a 14, though, so he's going to foul it out to the catcher. 1 away. So foul it out to Quirk. And that's going to bring up Lombardozzi. He's 0 for 3. 5-9, and that's going to be a strikeout for Farr. His first strikeout of the game. And here's Tim Laudner. He's doubled and tripled. 2-8 for Laudner. He struck him out, and that's going to end the inning. So Farr comes back after giving up those 2 base runners and gets 3 in a row to get out of the inning. We go to the 9th. We check the Twins bullpen and see if I can afford to have a pitcher pitch or whether I need to bring in a position player. Let's see if we have anybody that's worthwhile. Who's coming up for the, let's see, it's Tartable, Bosley, and White due up. I guess we'll let Atherton pitch an inning. It's not going to kill him, I don't think. So we'll go to Atherton out of the bullpen. Atherton on the real season, 7-5, 4.54 earned run average with 2 saves. On the replays, 1-5 with an 8.74 and 3 saves. So he's had a rough time of it in the replay with that 8.74 earned run average. We'll see what he does with Tartable. Do we give Tartable the rest of the game? We're going to get an at bat for one of these bench players. So we're going to have Juan Beniquez pinch hit for Tartable just to get Beniquez in at bat. And he'll stay in the game, play right field in the 9th. So Danny Tartable will get the rest of the game off, and Juan Beniquez will come on to pinch hit. And let's see what Beniquez has for his numbers. Real world in replays, hitting 296. I'm sorry, 256. 4 homers, 24 driven in. He had 251 real world. Atherton 1-9, and that's a walk. So pinch hit walk for Beniquez. And that'll bring up Thad Bosley. He's 1 for 4. 1-8 is a strikeout. So Bosley down on strikes. That brings up Frank White. And I don't know if the Royals, they could bring in somebody to pinch hit for White, I suppose. Yeah, we're going to have Buddy Biancalana hit for White and stay in the game to play second base. Like I said, this is bench emptying time and give some of these marginal players an at bat they might not normally get. So Biancalana will pinch hit in the 9th and stay in the game to play second base in the 9th. Buddy Biancalana. I believe he was like the cult hero in 1985 World Series. So Buddy Biancalana. He used to be a switch hitter, I believe, but they're showing him as a right-hander now, so I guess they gave that up. Biancalana on the replay in 25 at-bats is hitting 160. No homers and a run driven in. In the real season, he hit 213 in 47 at-bats with 1 home run. So here's Biancalana against Atherton. Whoa, we got hop and dice. Let's re-roll that. 6-2 right-handed, and that's a ground ball pitcher B, so fielder's choice. They will get the lead runner at second base, and Biancalana will take over as the new runner at first base. And bye-bye Balboni. Not going to pinch hit for him. He's been the man of the game. 2 doubles and a home run. 4-4. Catcher X, that's going to be Laudner. He's a 3-4. 3 and a 16 should be okay, I would think. Let's see here. 3 and a 16 is a foul out, and that's a 6, and he is an E4. E4, there's no 6 there, so it is a foul out to Laudner, and that will end the inning. So they sneak 1 inning out of Atherton. He goes 1 inning, gives up a walk or has a walk and a strikeout, nothing else. And now we go to the bottom of the 9th. Steve Farr back out to finish the deal. We'll be facing Davidson, Newman, and Gladden. So let's make all these defensive changes in the computer. So going to second base is Buddy Biancalana. Going to going to right field is Juan Beniquez. Everybody else status quo. All right, here's Mark Davidson. He's 0 for 2 with a sac fly. 3-10 for Davidson, and that's a fly ball to left field. Handled by Bo. 1 away. And here's Greg Gagne. He walked his first time up as a pinch hitter. 1-7 for Gagne. He's going to strike out. So 2 down. Last at bat might belong to Dan Gladden. Gladden is 0 for 4. He is either lined out or popped out to the shortstop 3 times. Hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield yet. 3-7 for Gladden, and he still won't as he strikes out to end the ball game. Kind of typifies the kind of game it's been for the Twins as they go quietly. And that's going to do it for them. Royals win a laugher 10-1. Let's see. Farr had 4 strikeouts. Very, very well for himself. Jackson, the winner, he's now 5-3. Negro, the loser, is now 2-4. Get the totals and go to the computer and set you up for the game tomorrow. We go to the box score. Ten runs, 12 hits, and no errors for the Twins. For the Royals, rather. 1 run, 7 hits, and 1 error for Minnesota. Nico, the loser, drops to 2-4. His ERA jumps up to an even 5. Danny Jackson, 5-3, and his ERA drops to 3.56. Player of the game, bye-bye Balboni. 3 for 5, 2 doubles, and a home run, and 5 runs batted in. So Steve, bye-bye Balboni, is the player of the game. As we look ahead to the next game in the replay, and of course now what this does, drops Minnesota under 500 to 28-29. Kansas City now 27-28. So we look at the standings up to the second now in this division. Minnesota is in a virtual tie with Kansas City. Actually, they both have a .491 winning percentage, so they're in a virtual tie for third place. 1 game behind California and 5 games behind Oakland. So as we look ahead, the remaining games on the schedule are all on the West Coast. So we've gone east to west as far as we can go. So there are, let's see here. We've got the next game on the schedule. We're going to be in Oakland, the Chicago White Sox and the Oakland A's. And it will be Jose De Leon against Kurt Young. But that'll be the top 2 teams in the American League West. The White Sox in second place, 4 games back, chasing those Oakland A's, and they got a chance. The White Sox are 5 games back, so California's the one in second. But if they win, they can pull into that tie in that log jam with California, Minnesota, and Kansas City. So the rest of the division is also hoping for a White Sox win. So that'll be the game tomorrow. And since a right-hander is on the mound for the White Sox, that means that Hot Dog Jackson will start at DH. They won't have to bring in Ron Say just yet. So tomorrow will be Hot Dog Jackson Day. So that's going to do it from here. Not sure if Uncle Ron's doing anything at noon or not. So if he's not, I'll probably do something at noon. If he is, I'll probably do something in the afternoon. Next game in the Steve Carlton replay is upon us as well. So in payoff pitch. So that's a possibility. Unless I feel like doing a Demolition League game. But I'm kind of leaning more towards the payoff pitch, getting game 4 of the Steve Carlton replay, and see how that goes. He supposedly has an easy game against the San Diego Padres, but I think it's actually a game he lost in real world. So I looked that up again. But he is playing. He's out because they're in California. They played the Dodgers. I'm sorry, they played the Giants. They're getting ready to play the Padres, and the next game after that is against the Giants. So they're on a West Coast swing, or the Phillies. So we'll see how Steve Carlton is done. In 3 starts, he's 2-0 with 1 no decision. So we'll see how he handles it against the Padres. Some guy named Steve Arlen is pitching for the Padres. I know nothing about Steve Arlen. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday, whatever you have planned on your schedule. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And I will see you all down the road as the Royals thump the Twins 10-1, courtesy of Steve Bye-Bye Balboni. Have a great day, everybody.